Welcome back, everyone. Feels like we just scratched the surface last time talking about AI growing up from that first week intern stage to something way more um, capable.
Definitely,
And I
yeah.
think that power line example, remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
It really showed how AI, even with the best intentions, can still uh, needs a human hand on the wheel, especially with really complex stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it underscores, the need for really robust testing and, validation and clear ethical frameworks as AI starts taking on more and more of these really intricate tasks.
For sure. And speaking of intricate today, we're going even deeper into, innovations that are making AI even more efficient and even more specialized.
Yeah.
We're talking subquadratic transformers and then this whole um, fascinating world of what they call mixture of experts or MOE.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds kind of intimidating, but it's actually, I don't know, it's pretty elegant in how it approaches things.
It is, yeah. It's like AI is, becoming this really lean, mean problem-solving machine.
Okay, so let's break it down. MOE first. It almost sounds like we're putting together like an AI dream team.
You know what? That's not a bad way to picture it. Imagine you've got this massive AI model.
Right.
But instead of just this one giant neural network trying to do it all, you've got specialized teams.
Okay.
Or you could even say experts within that model. And each one of these experts is trained on a really specific task or domain.
So instead of like one super AI trying to be, jack of all trades, it's more like having different departments, like in a company.
Yeah.
You got your legal, your marketing, engineering, each with their own like deep expertise.
Exactly, yeah. And that specialization, it doesn't just make things more efficient because you're only using the right expert for the task at hand, but it also really boosts the accuracy, because each expert is hyper-focused in their own little domain.
It's like you wouldn't ask a podiatrist to perform open heart surgery.
Right.
You want the right tool for the right job. So where do we see this MOE actually in action? Like real world stuff.
Well, Google Translate is a great example, right? They leveraged the transformer architecture and MOE principles to give you those really, really accurate and nuanced translations.
So that's why, when I try to order a coffee in Italian now, I don't sound like a total tourist.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But it shows you how these like abstract concepts are already, right there in our lives making a difference.
It's pretty cool. Okay, so MOE, that's all about specialization. What about these subquadratic transformers? It sounds like it's straight out of like a physics textbook or something.
It might sound, super complex, but the main idea is about finding these clever shortcuts to be more efficient. So these traditional transformers, they can be really computationally expensive,
Okay,
especially as the amount of data they have to handle, it just keeps growing. It's like you've got these powerful but gas-guzzling cars.
I get it.
Right.
So subquadratic transformers are like the electric cars of the AI world. Sleek, efficient,
Yeah.
not as resource heavy.
Bingo. They figure out ways to cut down on that computational, complexity of the transformer architecture without losing any performance. And this efficiency, it's not just a nice to have, it's really crucial because it lets us create those more powerful AI models that we've been talking about without hitting like the ceiling of what our computing power can do.
So it's not about AI just getting bigger. It's about it actually getting smarter and more sustainable.
Exactly. It's like optimizing the design of, I don't know, a building so it's energy efficient instead of just slapping on more and more air conditioners.
So where are we seeing this play out? Are we seeing like r- real world subquadratic transformers in action already?
Absolutely. They're popping up in a whole bunch of applications from language models like Google Spurt to these image and video generation tools like Daily and Stable Diffusion. Remember
Oh
those?
yeah, those ones where you type in like a cat riding a unicorn on a rainbow and it makes a picture.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, and those tools rely on, some seriously sophisticated transformer architectures. And
Yeah.
those efficiency innovations like the subquadratic transformers we're talking about, it's what lets those models process just the vast amounts of data they need to make those crazy creative outputs.
It's just amazing how fast this tech is moving. It's not just like theoretical anymore. It's actually in the stuff we use every day.
Exactly. And, we're even seeing ways to upgrade AI models that are already out there with these new capabilities, like MOE without starting over from scratch. They call this sparse upcycling.
So instead of ditching the old model, it's like giving it like A performance boost.
You got it. It's a
Got it.
really smart way to, take advantage of what we've already built and make it even more efficient. We don't always have to reinvent the wheel. We can build on what we've learned and make it even better.
It's like if you have an old car you love, but you give it like a modern engine and a fancy new body.
Mm.
Still the same car, but it performs at a whole new level.
That's a great analogy. And that kind of ingenuity, that's really what's driving progress in AI. It's not just about brute force computing power anymore. It's about finding those elegant and efficient solutions. And that's what makes this whole field so, exciting to be in right now.
It seems like AI is having this huge growth spurt, but instead of just, getting bigger, it's actually getting smarter and more efficient and just more sophisticated in general.
More adaptable too. And that's key because, the world is always changing, so we need AI systems that can change with it. We need AI that can, not only process information, but understand it, learn from it, even reason about it.
It's like AI is graduating from being a simple calculator to being, more like a collaborator, someone who can help us make sense of things and make better decisions.
Yeah. And that shift going from just a tool to more of a partner, that's what's pushing some of the most exciting stuff that's happening in AI, like the rise of these autonomous agents and AI co-pilots, which we can get into.
Okay, but hold on. Before we get too far ahead, I think it's also important to, be real. There are some downsides to all this rapid progress in AI. We can't just ignore those. It's not all, sunshine and rainbows.
That's true, yeah. It's crucial to look at this technology with a balanced perspective. We have to recognize all that incredible potential, but also, the potential pitfalls too.
So I'm ready to dive into some of those tougher questions.
Yeah, let's do it. Figuring out all the complexities and implications of AI, that's an ongoing conversation we need to keep having.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Alongside all the, amazing advancements, there are some limitations and challenges we just can't ignore with AI.
Right. So like we're at this crossroads where we see all these incredible possibilities, but also these potential pitfalls. And understanding those pitfalls, that's crucial if we want to, shape the future of AI responsibly.
Couldn't agree more. And one of the big ones, I think, is this issue of scaling limits. We talked about how AI models are getting bigger, more complex, but just adding more data, more computing power, it doesn't always give you better results.
So it's not just about building bigger and bigger AI models. There's like a point where it's not effective anymore.
Exactly. Think of it like building a skyscraper. You keep adding floors, but at some point, the whole thing becomes, well, structurally unsound, inefficient. You hit this point of diminishing returns.
I like that. It's a great analogy. So how do we deal with that, with those scaling limits? Is it even possible?
Well, that's where these innovations like mixture of experts and subquadratic transformers come in. They're not just about making AI bigger, it's about making it smarter, more efficient.
Yeah.
They help us find those elegant, sustainable ways to scale without just throwing more resources at the problem.
So working smarter, not harder, like optimizing a car's design to make it more fuel efficient instead of just giving it a bigger gas tank.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. It's about making AI more sustainable in the long run. And speaking of sustainability, there's another challenge tied to scaling: energy consumption.
Right. Training and running these massive AI models, that takes a ton of energy. It has a real impact on the environment.
It does. And as those models keep growing, the concern about their carbon footprint, well, it's only going to get bigger too. So finding ways to make AI more energy efficient, that's essential if we want it to be viable in the long term.
It seems like efficiency is this recurring theme here, both in terms of, performance and sustainability.
It is. And that's why those innovations we were talking about, subquadratic transformers and all those architectural tweaks, they're so important. It's not just about performance, it's about making AI more sustainable, less resource intensive.
Like designing electric cars to be super efficient so they can go further on one charge and have less of an impact.
Exactly. It's about using what we have wisely and minimizing AI's impact on the planet. Now, switching gears a bit, another potential pitfall we need to be aware of: AI hallucinations.
AI hallucinations. Okay, that sounds a little creepy.
I know, right? What we're talking about is, well, it's when an AI model generates something that's just wrong, nonsensical, bizarre even though it's been trained on all this data.
So it's like the AI is seeing things that aren't really there, like a digital mirage.
It's a good way to put it. And while this is still something researchers are trying to understand, it shows just how important it is to test these AI systems rigorously, really put them through their paces. We need to be sure they're reliable, robust, before we use them in situations where mistakes could have, serious consequences.
It's like trusting a self-driving car to navigate, you know, a busy intersection. You want to be 100% sure it's not going to hallucinate a pedestrian or a stop sign or something.
Exactly. We need to be careful, not get ahead of ourselves. We can't overestimate AI's capabilities, but we also can't, ignore its potential either.
So it's about finding that balance, excitement and caution, recognizing the power, but also uh, knowing the limitations.
I think that's well said. It's about having that nuanced understanding of both the opportunities and the challenges. So, with those challenges in mind, where do you see the most exciting stuff happening in AI right now? What's really, pushing the boundaries?
That's a good question. Where do we go from here?
Well, one area that's gaining a lot of traction is the development of these autonomous AI agents. These are AI systems that can actually act on their own to reach a goal. They don't need a human constantly supervising them.
So like little AI robots running around making decisions and taking actions by themselves. That sounds straight out of science fiction.
It does sound like sci-fi, but it's getting more and more real. And all those advancements we've been talking about, like MOE and subquadratic transformers, they're making these agents more and more capable and efficient.
So these autonomous agents, they could have a huge impact on all kinds of industries.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. They could revolutionize healthcare, finance, transportation, logistics. I read this fascinating article recently about how they're being used to, like, optimize traffic flow in cities, reduce wait times in hospitals, even give people personalized financial advice.
It's amazing to think about how AI is already changing things,
Yeah.
and it seems like these agents could really accelerate that transformation.
Exactly. And this leads us to another really interesting development, the rise of what they're calling AI co-pilots.
Co-pilots, like in an airplane.
Exactly. But in this case, we're talking about AI systems designed to work side by side with people in different fields, helping them to be more productive, more efficient, more effective overall.
So it's like having an AI assistant working with you, but on a much deeper level.
That's the idea. These AI co-pilots can analyze data, generate content, provide insights, even help with decision making. It's like having a teammate, someone who can not only help you with the busy work, but also contribute strategically.
Like having an AI brainstorming partner. Someone to help you see things differently, come up with new ideas.
Exactly. And we're seeing these co-pilot popping up everywhere. Software development, legal research, medical diagnosis, even creative writing.
It's wild to think how these AI co-pilots could change the way we work,
Yeah.
make us more efficient, more creative, just better at what we do.
It's definitely a game changer. And it makes you think, what does this mean for collaboration between humans and AI? How do we best use these co-pilots to boost our own abilities? And what are the ethical things we need to consider?
It sounds like we're moving away from this like master-servant relationship with AI to something more collaborative, like humans and machines working together to achieve, shared goals.
I think that's a great way to put it. And it speaks to how our idea of intelligence itself is changing as we move into this new era of human-machine collaboration.
So we've got these autonomous agents, we've got AI co-pilots. Are there any other like really interesting things happening in AI that we should talk about?
Well, one concept that's getting a lot of attention is this idea of collaborative AI. It takes teamwork to a whole new level by having teams of specialized AI agents working together, just like a human team would.
So instead of just one AI working on a problem, you have multiple AIs, each with their own expertise, all collaborating.
Exactly. Imagine, like, a team of AI experts, each with their own skills and knowledge, working together on these really complex challenges. It could lead to solutions we can't even imagine right now.
It's like assembling an AI dream team to tackle the world's toughest problems. That's a powerful image. Speaking of tackling big problems, what about AI in government? What about its potential role there?
That's a topic that's generating a lot of discussion, for sure. Some experts think AI could be really valuable in policymaking, helping to analyze data, identify trends, develop more effective policies, ones that are, more equitable.
AI helping to run our governments. That's a pretty big idea, and it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Oh, absolutely. We need to be extremely careful about how we develop and use AI in these sensitive areas. Transparency, accountability, making sure it aligns with human values. Those are all critical.
It makes sense to be cautious, especially when we're talking about something as fundamental as how our societies are, governed.
Mhm.
Are there any other potential developments in AI that you're, like, really excited about?
One that's really captured my imagination is the idea of AI-powered creativity. We've seen AI generating music, art, stories, but I think that's just the beginning.
So AI could be a partner in creative endeavors,
Yeah.
helping us push the limits of what's possible in art, music, literature.
Exactly. Imagine working with an AI to compose a symphony or design a building or write a novel. It's pretty mind-blowing.
It does sound like something out of science fiction, but it seems like the line between science fiction and reality is getting blurrier and blurrier with AI.
It is, and it raises these fascinating questions about creativity. Like if an AI can create something truly original, something beautiful, does that mean it's actually, capable of creative thought?
That's a question philosophers and artists will be debating for years to come. We can't really talk about the future AI without talking about, well, the elephant in the room, artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
AGI, the holy grail of AI research, the idea of creating machines with human-level intelligence, or even, surpassing us.
It's an idea that's been around for decades, but it also brings up some pretty big questions about the future of humanity.
Mm.
What happens when machines are as smart as us, or even smarter?
That's a question we need to start thinking about now as we keep pushing the boundaries of AI research. We have to be prepared for the possibilities, the good and the bad, that AGI could bring.
It's like we're going on this journey into uncharted territory, and we don't know where it's going to lead. But the journey itself is, well, it's full of wonder and excitement,
Yeah.
and, maybe a little bit of apprehension, too.
It is, and we need to approach this journey with both optimism and responsibility. We need to be aware of the risks, but also embrace the incredible opportunities that AI offers.
This deep dive has been quite a journey. We've talked about how AI is getting more powerful, more efficient, more widespread. We've talked about the challenges, the limits we need to overcome, and the mind-boggling possibilities that are out there.
It's been a fascinating conversation, and it really highlights how important it is to stay informed, to engage with these developments. AI is evolving so fast, and we need to be ready for the changes it brings.
Absolutely. So what do you think is the most important thing for people to understand about all this? What should they be paying attention to as AI keeps evolving?
I think the key is to realize that AI isn't something in the distant future. It's here, it's happening now, and it's affecting our lives in so many ways.
It's not just robots and sci-fi movies. It's the algorithms that shape our online experiences, the recommendations we see, the way we communicate, even the decisions about our healthcare and finances.
Exactly. AI is becoming part of everything. And as those systems get smarter, more capable, it's only going to become more integrated into our lives.
So it's exciting, but it's also, a little daunting to think about the future of AI and what it means for all of us.
It is, and that's why it's so important to stay informed,
Yeah.
to understand both the potential benefits and the risks, and to have these conversations about how we want this technology to shape our future.
It's like we're all writing the next chapter in the story of AI, and it's up to us to make sure it's a story that benefits everyone.
That's a great way to put it. The future of AI is still being written, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
I think that's a great point to transition into our final part where we'll dive deeper into the amazing potential of AI and creativity and the implications of AGI. Stick with us.
Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And we're back for our final deep dive into this amazing world of AI. As we've been talking, I'm really struck by the potential for AI to go beyond just analyzing information and actually become like a creative force in its own right.
Oh, absolutely. It's a really captivating area. We touched on AI composing music, visual art, even writing stories. But what's really fascinating is that we're starting to see AI go beyond just copying, existing styles. It's starting to generate things that are like truly new, unexpected. It's really pushing those creative boundaries.
It's like it's expanding our whole definition of what's even possible. I was reading about this AI that designed a building with a completely new architectural style.
Yeah.
It incorporated elements of nature in a way that, no one's ever seen before.
Right.
It makes you think, like, where does inspiration even come from?
Right. And it leads to this really fundamental question. What does it even mean for a machine to be creative? Are these AI systems really creative, or are they just, really, really good at recognizing and copying patterns?
It's a big philosophical question, and it gets even more complex as AI's creative abilities keep growing. I don't know if there's a simple answer, but regardless of how we define it, there's no question that AI is changing the creative process in some pretty huge ways.
Oh, for sure. Imagine working with an AI to brainstorm like marketing campaigns or design product prototypes or explore different storylines for a film. It's like having a creative partner that can give you these fresh perspectives and really challenge your assumptions. It pushes you beyond your usual limits.
And it's not just for pros. These tools are becoming accessible to like everyone. Imagine if anyone
Hmm.
could create a piece of music that's like totally personalized,
Yeah.
or generate unique artwork from their own ideas, or co-author a story with an AI.
It's democratizing creativity,
Yeah.
Anyone with internet access could become a creator. The potential for individual expression and even like whole new art forms that we haven't even imagined yet. It's just incredible.
It's exciting, but there are also some concerns, right? Like some people worry about AI-generated content flooding everything, making it harder to find stuff that's truly original.
Yeah, that's a valid point. And then there are questions of, authenticity and ownership. If an AI creates a song, who owns the copyright? How do we value AI art next to human art?
These are big questions we need to figure out as AI creativity becomes more and more common. But I do think the potential benefits in terms of, new ways to express ourselves and even inspiring human creativity, I think it's worth exploring.
I agree. It's not about replacing human artists. It's about expanding the possibilities. It's about collaboration between humans and machines. And speaking of expanding possibilities, this brings us to that ultimate frontier, artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
The holy grail of AI research, creating machines with human level intelligence, or even, surpassing us. Sounds like something out of science fiction.
It does, but it's something people are actually talking about seriously in the AI community. Some people think it's just a matter of time that we'll inevitably create these machines that think and reason like humans.
And others say AGI is fundamentally different, like it's something you might never be able to fully recreate or even understand.
And then there are those who are, well, they're worried about the risks. They say that AGI could be an existential threat. The idea of losing control of these super intelligent machines, it's a bit unsettling to think about.
It's a lot to take in. Trying to imagine a world with AGI is like, I don't know, trying to picture a color you've never seen before. It's just, it's beyond our current understanding.
It really is, but I think it's so important to have these conversations now. Thinking about what AGI could mean, the good and the bad, that's crucial if we want to be prepared for the future, whatever that future might look like.
This deep dive into the AI world, it's been a whirlwind. So much information, so much to think about. It's clear that AI isn't some, far-off thing anymore. It's here, it's now, and it's changing our world in ways we're only beginning to grasp.
Absolutely. We've talked about how AI is getting more powerful, more efficient, more pervasive. The challenges we face, those incredible possibilities, from AI-powered creativity to the potential for AGI, it's a journey full of wonder and a bit of uncertainty.
For me, the big takeaway is that AI isn't just happening in research labs or in movies. It's impacting our lives every day.
That's why it's so important to stay informed, to talk about the ethical and societal implications, and to approach this technology with both a sense of possibility and a healthy dose of caution.
It's like we're all writing the next chapter in the AI story. And it's a story that could have incredible advancements, but also, unforeseen challenges.
And it's up to all of us to make sure it's a story that ultimately benefits humanity as a whole.
Well said. The future of AI is still being written, but we all have a part to play in shaping it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence. It's been an amazing journey.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
And to all our listeners, keep exploring, keep asking those questions, keep learning. The world of AI is changing every day, and there's always something new to discover. Special thanks to our producer, Scott Cole.